Hi, my name's Shawn Michael Walker with Premier Group Insurance, and today I woke up to a text message vibrating my wrist, and it was a good friend of mine within the insurance industry on the other side of the United States, and the text message basically read this: given what's going on in the stock market today and recently in the last few weeks, and given the coronavirus and what's going on there, can we expect insurance companies to take rate increases over the course of the next few months or over the course of the next year, something to that effect? And it gave me the idea for this video. So this video is really just an introduction to what I've already previously recorded within my Insurance Spectrum series, which is 2 videos. Each video is about 20 minutes, totaling about 40 or 45 minutes worth of content. But one of the important things that we touch on in that video for about 5 or 6 minutes is how insurance companies make money. And it's really important to understand that principle of how insurance companies make money, because it gives us an answer to the question that came to my phone this morning via text, which is, will insurance companies take rate? Because of what's going on here and what's going on with the COVID virus. So I encourage you to pay attention and stick around for the next 5 or 6 or 7 minutes of this video to understand what's happening and within the insurance industry and within the stock market, to understand how insurance companies make money, why they choose to expand their appetite or contract their appetite within the insurance spectrum, depending on where and how they're making their money. If it's information you already know, it's a great review, and if it's information you don't already know, it's gonna really help you understand what you might be able to expect in the near future within the insurance industry. Now, everything that I say in the video going forward, it's important for you to go talk to your company representatives and your companies and understand, hey, how have you guys been making money for the last year or two? Have you been making it off of investment incomes within the stock markets, or have you been making your money off of underwriting profit? And get a really good feel for what these insurance companies or how these insurance companies have been making money over the course of the last few years, so that you can get a good understanding or begin to predict what's going to happen to your carriers as it relates to their appetite within the insurance industry and within the insurance spectrum. Enjoy what you're about to see.
Sometimes carriers want more market share, sometimes carriers want less market share, and I want to explain why. So we need to understand how insurance companies make money, okay? We must understand how insurance companies make money. Insurance companies make money in 2 different ways. One way is an underwriting profit. An underwriting profit means for the product that they sell, they make money off of the product that they sell. So when they insure you for $1,000 of auto insurance for 6 months, they know, or they hope, that they can make money off of that $1,000 that they sell you. So they go, maybe you'll have a fender bender, but ultimately, if you have a fender bender, hopefully that fender bender only costs $700, and we make $300 off of you as the insured. Okay, so that's the underwriting profit. We collect money for the product, the insurance product that we sell you, and hopefully you don't use all of that money in a claim, so that we can actually make a profit. Okay. The other one is investments. Investments in the stock market, right? So I think Progressive is saying this year alone they're going to grow $6 billion in written premium. I'll use Progressive again as an example. If the stock market is good and Progressive collects $6 billion from every single insured across the United States and takes that $6 billion to the stock market, then if the stock market's good right now, then they can make, what does the stock market typically return? I think it's, historically speaking, it's like 10%, right? So they run over to the stock market with their new $6 billion, and they say, well, while we're waiting to pay out these claims, we're going to make 10% off of this $6 billion. So while I'm waiting to give you your $1,000 back that you gave us to cover your future claim, they're saying, I'm going to take your $1,000 over to the stock market and make 10% on that $1,000, which is $100, right? So they go, you know, we really don't care if we have to give you back your $1,000, right? What we do care is that we're making our money anyway in the stock market. So if the stock market's good, I can take your $1,000 and say, give me your $1,000, I'll give it back to you later. I don't even care if I have to give you every single penny back, as long as I know that I can run to the stock market and make my 10% there. So I'll just make my profit off of the investment versus the actual product that I sold you, okay? Now, what happens if the stock market's bad? If the stock market's bad, then the insurance company can't take their $6 billion over to the stock market and bank on a 10% return on investment. And so they go, we can't take it over there to make the money. We used to, a lot of companies would actually run a 100% combined operating ratio, and a combined operating ratio is loss ratio plus expenses. So what insurance companies used to do is, or what insurance companies do when investments are good in the stock market, is they go, we don't need to make a dime off of the actual underwriting profit, because we know that we'll make a dime off of the investments. So let's just play this out. The combined operating ratio is losses plus expenses. So let's use that $1,000 for your auto insurance, right? You give me $1,000. I go to the stock market and make $100 off of the investment. Do I care if I have to give you your $1,000 back? No. So I could get zero profit off of the underwriting profit, and I know I get 10% profit off of the investments, and so I don't care that my combined operating ratio is actually 100%. Right? If I lose 100% of your written premium because I have to give it back to you for a claim, then I'm okay with that because I made money somewhere else, right? So combined operating ratio is loss ratio. Loss ratio is losses divided by earned premium. So of that $1,000, how much of it did I have to give back, right? If I have to give all 1,000 back, the loss ratio is 100%, okay? If I have to give back, let's say 60% of it, $600 of the $1,000, then I still have to worry about the expense ratio. The insurance company still has to say, well, we still have to pay all of our claims adjusters and all of our underwriters and do all of our technology and cover all of the expenses of running an insurance company. So you take the loss ratio plus the expenses, gets you to a combined operating ratio, and that combined operating ratio, companies care about their combined operating ratio all the time, of course, but when there is investment money to be made in the stock market, some companies might say, you know what? Let's run a 102 combined operating ratio. Let's lose 2 cents on every dollar because we know that we're going to go get our 10% somewhere else. So let's own as much of this insurance spectrum as we can possibly own. Or let's expand our appetite so that we can get as much business as we can get, because it really doesn't matter if we make a profit on that business or not, because we're going to get the money back a different way than actually on the product that we're selling. Does that make sense? Good. So now it's important to note that sometimes the stock market's not a really great place to be, right? What happened in 2008? In 2008, the stock market went boom. Everybody said, oh, we're not making money in the stock market. So every single insurance company came to every single insurance agency's door and said, so turns out we're not making money here anymore. And so we now need to make money here. So historically speaking, we were okay with having a lot of this insurance spectrum and running a little loose so that we could get as many policies as we get, because as many policies as we can get means we get a lot of $1,000 hits here and $1,000 hits there. But it turns out we're not going to make money in the investment income. We're going to make money now. We have to make money now on the actual product, which means we can't run 100% combined operating ratio anymore, because we now need to make money on the product that we actually sell, okay? So then what an insurance company does is says, okay, historically we used to write people with 3 or 4 tickets or accidents, and we can't do that anymore. We opened that up intentionally so that we could make money, so that we could get the policies and get the written premium and make the money in investments, but now we're not doing that anymore. We can't do that anymore. So we can't keep writing people with tickets and accidents. On this end of the spectrum, you might see Allstate or Farmers or State Farm say, we don't like teenage drivers as much as we used to like teenage drivers because they get into accidents, right? Or you might see insurance companies say, we need to do things to shrink our appetite now that we have to make our money on our underwriting profit, okay?